Switzerland aninyi banku tumal mu beto na doku sone yata atariata akoita andung alanna yata Gambia banko kan Supersonics le dinkiral siyata katambinyin tumal mu meti Supersonics be banku tan sabani nani le to fota findu bankol to dung ila Google Play Store to wala ila Apple app sign ye Supersonics la money transfer app o download pour que ifa munafang na service la
Seminar Style di African Plus bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sa buy bëggal sa xol dawal fofu ci Seminar Style amal nañ leen li di organic and body hair oil soap for hands and smooth face whitening soaps waaye tamit amal nañ leen li di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals all natural wow all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex da ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek ma ne xéewal day mat moo tax nag ñu amal leen lii di African clothes amal leen lii di baby carrière di mbootu ma ne ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit lii di turban hats bonnet fancy face mask képp koo xamante ne nag bëgg nga am ñii di Seminar Style mun nga leen a contact si seen email adresse bi di seminarstyle@gmail.com wala nag foofu di seen website bi di seminarstyle.com bagage yu yaañ yii nag amul ci benn African country jamono juñ toll nii waaye nag am na ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal foofu si Seminar Style Seminar Style rafetaay yépp ay feeñ.
Salam bitik moo leen ay nuyu askan bi jox leen ma seen noppa si wàllum téléphone du Samsung du Nokia Spark xeetam boo xalaat Salam bitik am na ko waaye tablette yaa ngi fa router yaa ngi fa data card yaa ngi fa xale yi nag seeni tablette ñu fa xale yi ñu bég la Salam bitik bu ka waaye mag ñi ñu kontaan xataay leen ñu dem Salam bitik sa Kairaba Avenue Johnson yi ma njaay kunda bi foofu la gaay nekk soo demee si Salam bitik di nga fa fekk téléphone yu baax call leen Abdoulaye Cissé si 3939939 mbete it ngeen call ko si 5050150 nuyu leen ma Salam bitik.
Gambians, in a bid to make this goal, a GAB-led government shall establish state-inclusive state industries throughout the country that will contribute the economy and equally lift the employment rate in Gambia with improved salaries. GAB-led government shall establish Gambia Investment Bank that will make it easier for the entrepreneurs and business owners to have access to loans and double their investment. The GAB administration shall establish the Gambia Investment Commission, called GIC, under the Ministry of Industrial and Infrastructure Development to assess all potential investment opportunity in the Gambia without fraudulent approaches toward investors. We believe in Gambian talent and innovation, which is why we shall make sure that you have support to thrive. Toward this endeavor, our government shall lower down 10% of the tax to ensure that no business is collapsed due to taxation. For this to happen, our government will create a conducive environment with proper institutions. Economic growth and environment sustainability must be seen as complement and not substitutes. Respectable ladies and gentlemen, fellow Gambians, unknown to most of the people is the fact that the health and medical sector of Gambia is very close to my heart. I'll repeat one more time. Respectable ladies and gentlemen, fellow Gambians, unknown to most of people is the fact that health and medical sector of Gambia is very close to my heart. In fact, the aspiration of the establishment of Gambian Action Party stems from the heart-wrenching experience I, as the Secretary General, encountered with the said sector as the government of Gambia continually neglects the lives of our people. Gambian Action Party government, we shall effectively implement and tackle the health-related issue in the country, and it is mandatory for every responsible government to secure the lives of the citizens. Otherwise, this government is not fit to purpose or governance. It is saddening to me that our women die just to produce in this 21st century, and the government officials seek overseas treatment, while the ordinary Gambians continue to struggle for life. The government shall recognize the medical and health service of this nation by prioritizing the preventive measures through disease management and control initiatives such as inoculation, vaccination, immunization, sanitation, education, and research. Therefore, the sanitation and medication and health services shall be augmented in the Ministry of Health in order to enhance the coordination of the operation of our various sectors. GAP administration shall recognize the sanitation system. The cleansing service sector shall be in institutionalization, improve both the material and human resources based on the provision of better equipment which can be used for modernization, refuse management system such as incineration, as well as promoting the recycling of waste to replace waste dumping. Towards this end, we will introduce sanitation, rankings measuring and ranking our cities and towns on sanitation and reward the best performers. GAP-led government tasked to construct major and standard hospitals in all regions and improve the current facilities with available drugs and modern equipment, well-trained nurses and doctors, as well provides effective service delivery. Establish medical storage facility in all the hospitals throughout the nation and establish National Public Properties Protection Department known as NPPPD. Under the Ministry of Industry and Infrastructure Development, whose staff will be deployed to the stores and ensure protection for the drugs. The Ministry of Health shall create an independent task force department that will work under the supervision of National Monitoring Commission called NMC to monitor the success and failure in all hospitals in the Gambia. To ensure the service delivery, the NMC will monitor the activities of all ministry lines in the Gambia without favoritism. At the same venture, we shall establish pharmacology plan for the manufacture of both traditional or herbal and conventional drugs, as well as other essential drugs in the quest to modernize the Gambia's healthcare system. Invest in different able and mental health sector by establishing facilities that will keep them safe and not distant from the society. Improve the current medical health care facility in the name of Tanka Tanka. GAP shall build the capacity of the health staff and health facility on quarterly basis to improve service delivery, mainstream the conventional and traditional health service delivery system by institutionalizations of both sectors and merge them into one ministry to enhance benefit from both types of treatments and medication. GAP shall introduce home care for the senior and aged citizens who need private both healthcare attention for genuine democracy to be cultured in Gambia. Accelerated measures for socio-economic development gain must not be overlooked in order to enhance quality life of all people. Since the inception of Gambia Action Party is committed upholding democratic principles, rule of law, and protection of fundamental human rights and values. We believe in sailing through a journey towards building a collective dream, nurture the Gambian hopes, and guarantee the liberties of men and women as the fundamental pillar of our development-driven agendas. We promise to introduce sustainable democracy irrespective of their faith, color, and status. On this journey to sustainable democracy in Gambia, we shall shelter peace and stability, justice and truth. Arbitrary arrests and detention, unlawful killings and disappearance, media censorship, and tyrannical governance shall be the things of the past under GAP-led government. Our government will be characterized by transparency, accountability, proper administrative measures that discourage weaker institutions, as well as open and participatory government policy approaches in both the public and private sector. We shall be open to constructive critics that serve for the best interests of the nation, and all senior government officials shall be subjected to assessed declaration in ensure reality and cleansing public doubt. Respected ladies and gentlemen, fellow Gambians, the GAP-led government shall recognize the education system of the Gambia at the level of planning, as well as the implementation cognizant of the fact that every child deserves post-secondary education and better job security for prosperity. Our government shall prioritize the educational sector amongst other areas, as we believe that for the Gambia to attain development that will position the nation at the global competitive zone, education system must be standardized. Education is what empowers us all to realize our potentials. When education fails, it's not only an individual that's held back, but a nation as a whole. Our government must judiciously invest in this sector, strategic manner, to develop the capacity of our people and register significant progress as a nation. In this endeavor, the policies and framework shall be revisited so as to redesign the functionals and the special education categories, such as educational needs of the people, pre-early childhood education, basic, primary, secondary education, technical vocational education, religious and higher education, among others. The GAP government is adamant all the institutionalization education structures into a single administrative management system. GAP will bring under the purview of one Ministry of Education that has a different as well as specialized structures of deputy ministers and secretaries, so as to coordinate all the various educational systems of operation and self-delivery. Therefore, technical and vocational training shall be the business of the administration of education, so that training authority, method of delivery could be properly supervised by the ministry. Likewise, the transition process from basic education through tertiary and higher education shall be monitored by one ministry. The GAP-led government shall invest in technical, vocational education and training by establishing mandatory skill centers in all public and private schools to invest in the youth and make them well self-reliant. In this endeavor, the skill training shall be inculcated in curriculum to better prepare the school-going children of the childhood stage. For the enhancements of recognition, the educational system in terms of restructuring, innovation, and investment, GAP government shall endeavor to reinforce the educational infrastructure by providing more and different categories of schools all over the nation, increase the institution of higher academic as well as technical and vocational education, ensure the existence of effective and different human resource base, such as making available well-trained and motivated teachers to enhance the production of relevant and good quality knowledge and the skills that will reflect on the development needs of the Gambia for now and prosperity. GAP-led government shall introduce a vibrant student loan scheme called SLC that will grant loans to all students from the lower income earning families that earn less than $200,000 per month at the tertiary institutions with free and quality education from the early education to the basic as well as secondary level. fellow Gambians, distinguished and invited guest leaders, gentlemen, ladies, there is a clear manifesto that the great chunk of our country's economy rests on agriculture. Cognizant of the fact that the government of the First Republic registered significant progress and generated millions of dollars, but was not invested in public interest. Over the years, the farmers face challenges, and many of them are discouraged by attitude meted on them by previous and present government, and cause how moral as their farm productivity are usually taken on loan, and this hamper the realm of values change. The losing hand of the state into the support of the farmers has sent them into weakness and left under the mercy of nature. GAB-led government shall develop the agricultural sector of the nation through investment in the indigenous, industrial, as well as commercial agricultural production and productivity. We tax to revitalize this sector, as agriculture has been the backbone of Gambia since independence. Investment into indigenous agriculture shall consist of cultivation of crops, vegetables, and plants largely for food and consumption purposes. At all levels, the indigenous farmers should be empowered by increasing investment into mechanized training, increase in availability of crop, seed, fertilizer, farm equipment, as well as expansion of arable land. Investment into industrial agriculture shall consist of mechanized cultivation and production through the use of modern technology such as mechanical equipment and machines. This type of agriculture shall be geared towards the development and mechanization of agriculture for business purposes, in which products shall be mainly for local sale as well as export. Investment into industrial agriculture shall consist of diversification and increase agricultural productivity through processing and manufacturing. Towards this endeavor, agriculture shall consist of large-scale crops and vegetables production, livestock production, beekeeping and honey processing, dairy production, food processing, the establishment of agro-food factories and business centers, among others. GAB government shall improve the industrial infrastructure of the nation through the establishment of many factories, industrial farms, as well as invest in the process of plants and trees. Increase in production and productivity of food resources such as fish, beef, fruits and vegetables, and dairy products, among others, for consumption, marketing and export. The production, textile and cosmetic, as well as for the manufacture of concretes, cement, timber, metal product, matches, candle and wax lamp, furniture, automobiles, electronics, tools and equipment, among others. The GAB government shall endeavor to prioritize industrial development such as to increase production and productivity, employment opportunities, as well as boost the socio-economic development of the nation for sustainable growth. Towards this endeavor, the Ministry of Industrial and Infrastructure Development shall be tasked with the establishment of the state factories and strengthen the private industrial system by empowering them on the level of ground. Investment into commercial agriculture shall consist of providing maximum support to industrial agriculture through the creation of large-scale marketing opportunities. Commercial agriculture shall consist of agribusiness sector of the nation. In this regard, agro-products buying centers shall be established throughout the nation, and these products shall be processed in industrial sectors such as factories, plants, and stores, among others. As an employment creation initiative, GAB government shall encourage the youth of the rural provincial regions across the nation to engage in industrial and commercial agriculture by providing them with adequate farmlands. Example, making available hundreds of meters of land along both sides of the river banks for irrigation, farming, providing multiple and different crop, vegetables, seeds, fertilizers, as well as the creation of market opportunities, among others. The youths within the urban areas shall be directly employed to work in agro-industrial sectors, such as in factories and processing plants. These industries will also create more employment opportunity for the youth and boost unemployment rate as we upgrade our economy and break barriers that have been holding us back as a nation. Our government shall nullify the idea of agreement for rural inhabitants, and our transformational fund will deliver investment to all parts of the country. We shall exert more efforts in providing farmers education, as this is the valuable step towards agriculture modernization and mechanization. Consequently, a highly powered adult agriculture education system shall also be piloted. In doing so, the citizens will be encouraged to redouble their efforts geared towards this endeavor. GAP government shall invest in agriculture to all year-round productive sectors, such as to enhance socio-economic development and sustainable growth. As the regard of our natural resources, I will emphasize on that more. As the regard of our natural resources and the environment, the underutilized space, indigenous trees and plants in both nutritive and medical purposes shall be utilized through special processing. Our beautiful and meaningful river is polluted by foreigners, only to leave our dead fishes in the sea. Foreigners have been issued license to catch our fishes, only to export and process for pig foods and let the fish suckers stay in the market. We are also aware that our tuna fish that weigh 364 kilograms in 2019 cost $396,000, which is equivalent to $17,820,000, and multiplied by the number of tuna caught over the period of the last 4 years. This part I will emphasize one more time. We are also aware that one tuna fish that weighed 364 kilograms in 2019 cost $396,000, which is $17,820,000, and multiplied by numbers of tunas caught over the period of last 4 years. We at the GAP shall regain our sovereignty and must never be compromised or dictated by any country or serve as a second fiddle to any government of the world. Gambia is a sovereign state, and all her dealings or agreement must be checked twice to ensure we did not abandon our people in all means possible. When GAP comes to power, factories will be in place where these fishes are processed into finished products for general consumption and for export. These factories shall create employment. These factories shall create employment opportunities to our people and better our economy. Under the leadership of GAP, the River Gambia should be greatly utilized for irrigation, fishing, and for wind harvesting through wind turbines to support the electricity supply sector. These are some of the reasons why we opted to make River Gambia as our logo, that gains its sources from Futa Jalong Island and bonded us together as a nation. To maximally utilize our river water resources, the Gambian Action Party shall improve and diversify the development and utilization providing boreholes and pipe-borne water. By harvesting natural water, river water will be processed through filtration, distillation, and desalination for other uses. River Gambia, our logo. River Gambia, our logo. River Gambia, our logo shall also be utilized as irrigation to promote multi-cropping system and vegetable growth that shall give us enhance to eat fresh vegetables. Fellow Gambians, ladies and gentlemen, part of our legacy on the GAP-led government is to establish a functional anti-corruption committee called ACC that will deal with all the corruption-related issues in the country. more than half a century. Corruption is embedded in our public officials, and this defeats our progress as a nation, as well as damages our reputation only for the benefit of greed individuals. GAB-led government or GAB-led administration will accord zero, I repeat, GAB-led administration will accord zero tolerance to corruption and shall establish the toughest anti-corruption legislation in the 21st century. In the past and the present administration, more than 40% of the country's revenue was diverted for personal development that amounts billions of the Gambian currency that is effectively positioning the Gambia as the 50th in the economy ranking of all African countries in 2019. I repeat, in the past and present administration, more than 40% of the country's revenue was diverted for personal development that amounts billions of Gambian currency, and this effectively positioned the Gambians as a 5th in the economy ranking of all African countries in 2019, which $1,860,000,000 gross domestic product, GDP, and with $746 per capita income. It's a shame to this country. In a bid to ensure the Gambia remains free from horrors and corruption, the government, through the Act of Parliament, shall enact drastic measures to hold the people who promote corruption and its growth. For those officials who influence their position for personal whims and caprice our administration shall be toughed on them, as well as bring them into justice without any denial or delay. We shall work on the restoration of public trust on our public offices and introduce measures that bar the convict of permanently holding any public office, introduce technological system and establishment of security cameras in all government and public sector premises, as well as introduction of electronic cash collection system called the ECCS to be deposited into single government account and receipts for verification. On one equal footing, we shall set up Anti-Corruption Board Commission called ACBC in all regional and constituency level to detect corruptions and with powers to refer to Anti-Corruption Commission, as well as introduction of an automatic freeze of all assets of all convicts and companies inclusive, and eradication of parliamentary immunity. Our government will accord the powers to ACC to prosecute corruption cases, as this is the best standard among African countries. Fellow Gambians, ladies and gentlemen, since the inception of mankind, Gambia still cannot have a sustainable electricity supply that quench the thirst of citizens, whilst our government officials continue to flamboyant lifestyle and building expensive households, as well as busy on their personal agendas. GAB is an alternative to end narratives when voted into office. The GAB government shall enhance the development of energy resources of the nation, which includes both natural energy such as solar, wind, petrol, carbon substance, and minerals, among others, as well as industrial energy such as gas, electricity, and fossil fuel. The Ministry of Energy, Petroleum, and Mineral Resources shall be tasked to establish solar firms through the National Water and Electricity Company called NAWEC, and shift from all generators that cannot sustain electricity supply in the Gambia. The set of energy supply in the Gambia shall be regularized within 4 years in power. Enhance the energy resources of the nation. Investments will be increased in solar energy innovation. The wind resources shall be enhanced through industrialization, such as manufacturing and processing of wind turbines and aquaworks, among others, in order to support the electricity supply sector as well as other carbon substances. Investment shall also be increased into the industrial energy sector through the harnessing of our mineral resources such as natural and synthetic gas, element, petroleum product, and fossil fuel, among others. The Gambia government shall improve the national energy resources such as to boost electricity and related sectors. Extraction of the natural mineral resources shall be under the sole responsibility of the Ministry of Energy, Petroleum and Mineral Resources, as well as the identification of areas for mining. Fellow Gambians, ladies and gentlemen, like a seed of a mustard, a sense of belonging of our youth must supersede our personal development, and we position them at the center of the driven agendas. The Gambia government shall establish youth and sport development-based ministry that shall empower the youth and improve the game of sport in the Gambia, as well as depict the true nature of Gambian system. The youth are the most productive asset of the nation who can make it possible for Gambia economy to achieve double growth. The Gambia administration shall position the youth at the forefront in all nation development agendas as they remain peak of the nation, as well as plays integral role for the development of the country. We commit to review all policies and seek for youth participation not only in nation building, but in making key decisions by placing them in the center of the decision-making bodies. In our quest to get the youth involved, our government shall introduce Young Leaders Program in all sectors to recognize the effort as well as reward those outstanding young leaders in Gambia to serve as a role model within our society. Towards this endeavor, Gambia government shall establish a Ministry of Youth Empowerment. I repeat, Gambia government shall establish Ministry of Youth Empowerment and Sport Development to honor their voice and include them in the making critical decisions. Improving the game of sport is an area of administration. Shall undertake standard reform to bring back the lost golden generation of Gambia, cognizant of the fact that Gambia has never participated at African and world competitive stage in the senior level. Toward this end, we shall decentralize the game of sport in all parts of the country and scout the talented boys and girls to present the nation. Improving the leagues and broadcasting live games shall be part of the reform agendas to attract foreign leagues to hire our Gambian talents. Job provision and business empowerment shall equally be strengthened by creating said factories with beautiful salaries. More than 65% of the Gambian population are youth, and it's high time to effectively invest in them in order to make them useful rather than be used. We shall introduce and allocate 5% of youth capital entrepreneurs called YCEF, the national revenue to assess them, establish businesses, and coach them without corruption or embezzlement in the process. Introduce student loan system and make it affordable and shall be repayable after job acquisition. Mass deportation is a critical condition here now. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, on strong footing, we stand against mass deportation of Gambian brothers and sisters around the world to ensure the respect of our nationality. It is heart-aching. Recently, we have witnessed the draconian agreement set to deport our giant Gambians back to the nation who struggled their way out for greener pasture, and majority of them died among the Mediterranean Sea. It is sad. We stand beside those single mothers who struggle in gardens, markets, and weekly lomus as well as cooperative associations to ensure that children excel, which in return benefit our society. We stand beside those widows that sold their jewelries and created some cash in order to finance their journey. Sadly, our government connived with the European nation to deport our people. A goblet government. We revoke a goblet government. We revoke all the malicious and exploitative deals signed by some of the corporate thieves for selfless service for the Gambia. Our government will be responsive, people-centric, and devoted government to the service of the people, and shall ensure our bilateral and multilateral relationship with the nation of the world exclude this horrible action. We urge the government of Gambia to respect human dignity and revisit the treaties. And to the deportees and those on the pipeline, your rights will be protected by voting for GAP in December 4th.
di African place bu ñepp doon xaar képp ko bëgg sa taar wala bëgg sanse buy bëggal sa xol dawal fofu ci Semina Style amal nañ leen li di organic and body hair oil, soap for hands and smooth face, whitening soaps, waaye tamit amal nañ leen li di hair spa cream for face and body with no chemicals, all natural. Wow, all natural laa leen wax de xanaa li neex na ba noppi waaye nag emuñ foofu rek mané xéewal day mat motax nak ñu amal leen li di African clothes, amal leen li di baby carrier di mbootu mané ana yaay neene yu baax yi daw si leen gaaw amal nañ leen tamit li di turban hats, bonnet, fancy face masks. képp ko xamanteni nak bëgg nga am ñi di Semina Style mun nga leena contact ci seen email address bi di seminastyle@gmail.com wala nak fofu di seen website bi di seminastyle.com. bagage yu yañ yi nak amu ci ben African country jamono juñ toll ni waaye nak amna ci European countries yi ak American countries yi pour bégal sa xol rafetal sa taar dawal fofu ci Semina Style. Semina Style rafetaay yépp ay feeñ.